tomorrow. But we're going to recap Blast. Now, we don't have a bumper for this one, do we, Lucas? I can just keep moving along. He's probably helping, Prof.
Keep moving.
Let's keep moving. We're putting out fires as we go here, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get stuck in the first one. And once again, I know as the person who appears to be driving the ship, it would make sense for me to write the topics. I don't write the topics. Prof writes these. So the fact that SPUNJ was right about complexity sounds like I'm a cocky cunt. Really, I didn't write it. So blame Prof. I mean, you can blame him. He's not even here. But let's talk about this complexity result, right? And I want to get stuck into a couple of this is going to be a long conversation about this one here, because this is one that I think that people at the moment in Counter-Strike are jumping so quick, like all over the shop. Like, it's like, oh, their shit, one event, okay, their shit. They're like, it just feels like instantly people are just like bang, 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 instead of considering the broader context. Now, I understand it's a result-orientated thing. If you play badly, you're going to get called bad. If you play well, you're going to get called good. It's pretty simple, right? But we seem to have lost context. We seem to have completely lost the idea of what a honeymoon period is, the lack of pressure, the freedom that these players are able to play with, just running around headshotting. Like, literally, that I say that, you guys sit there and go, that sounds stupid. No, seriously, that's a serious thing. So first of all, this complexity situation, let's cover off on this, and then we'll go into this honeymoon stuff, because I want to talk a lot about this. Complexity came back. They went to Serbia. They're boot camping there. The first time that JKS has met the majority of his teammates as his teammates. They were all in the same room for the first time, playing with each other. Poison was back after being out for several months, and they're not doing the constant stand-in thing. And then they came out and they had some banger results. They played some good Counter-Strike. So Striker, when you look at this, do we feel that it's a bit in the honeymoon category? Do we feel it's a bit in that maybe we were underestimating the amount of the stand-in situation? What's your initial takes when you saw Complexity's results?
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that they were much more comfortable than before, having Poison back. They just went back to like the usual stuff that they do and didn't have to adjust, for standings playing for them. And in general, like, obviously the JKS situation was a massive factor, just him coming back to like a normal, to his normal self, and even probably better. Actually, I feel like that was his best tournament with Complexity so far. And kind of the same thing can be said for Config, actually. I feel like he was just massive for them that entire tournament. Whether this is like a honeymoon period or not, I don't really think so. Maybe they're not going to be this good where they just don't lose a map during an entire group, especially facing the teams that they did, including G2. Sure, it was Vitality that played without Apex, but it's still like it was a really, really one-sided result. And generally, like, they were just looking super confident. So maybe that's not going to be the case, but I feel like they're just back to the complexity that's kind of played like towards the end of last year before they went into these issues and having chances to actually win tournaments or just go deep,
Yeah, sure. Now, Nexa, as you mentioned before, you're in this group. You guys played against the likes. You guys lost the Complexity 2-0, right? I've got that right here. It's directly in front of me. I've got my facts straight for once. When you're preparing for this team, knowing that Poison's coming back in, does it make it more difficult that you haven't seen the guy in the team for, what was it, like 3 months? Was it more than three? Maybe 3 months like that?
Like
does it make
months,
yeah? Do you think, oh, we go back to the demos that they were using when Poison was there? Do we use the stuff that they had with the stand-ins, or do you just have to go in these situations? Oh, let's do the classic play our own game.
Yeah, but like as you said, we try to play our own game, but the same thing is like we watch their demos, we try to like anti-strat analyze, and they didn't really change like their system, like their strats and their things. Like they had the stand-ins, but they basically just like made the stand-ins play Poison's role in every single thing that they did. So like the whole system and like how they play CT&T, it stayed like exactly the same. It was just like this effect of like Poison basically being better than the standards that they had,
Sure.
And like what they did like at Blast, maybe you can like call it like a little bit of honeymoon, or maybe people were just like happy to see Poison back and then like had this like positive aura atmosphere around them, which was like not present, for example, in the tournaments that they played with the standards. Like you could see their faces and like people being tilted, especially Justin. Like he's the guy who I know gets affected by this a lot. And honestly, having Poison back, like you could see on their cameras, they were like smiling, they were happy, they were boot camping, they were really like cheerful, and I think it just transitioned into their game as well. Like it gave them confidence, and then individuals showed up, like Config, Blamef was there as well, and Poison, like coming back, he had some sick plays with his op, some sick maps, and all of that just added up to the performance that they had.
To be fair, like JK still looks stressed as fuck. I feel like it doesn't matter what's happening to the guy; he's always gonna have the same expression.
He's starting to smile more, right? He's the smile's creeping on just a little bit more these days. Now, let's just quickly recap their run for those of you who may have missed it. Apex was there in their opening game, so complexity versus vitality. Apex was there, and then he wasn't there the next 2 days,
yeah,
right?
that's right, actually,
or the next day because they got knocked out. But that's when it was that overpass game, and I think this was the most surprising part. This is out of all the games because the G2 complexity series was actually quite close. I think that it was like 16-14, 16-12, something pretty close. Whereas the complexity vitality game, the overpass one is what stands out, right? Now, in the post-mortem, when we know that there was issues, when we know that, you know, potentially there were other things in the in-game leader's mind, it makes it quite difficult to be an in-game leader. But they still got smashed on their own map choice, 16-2, right? Like that was the game. Was it the game where Poison just popped off on the CT side and was just fucking hammering people? I think something along those lines. And that game right there, I've never. It was obviously we didn't touch on this, and I obviously don't want to dwell on this, but it was ZywOo's worst performance ever, right? So a lot of things were going wrong for Vitality all at the same time. Prof, are you back?
Maybe.
Oh, we can hear you. Lucas, is he good?
I mean,
Lucas is muted.
Lucas is dead now, so it's all right. It's going away.
We
at least we can
Lucas.
hear him. At least we can hear
good.
him now.
The quality is going to be shit, but we know what he's saying now. So, Prof, you made it back just in time.
No. It's very good quality.
It's very good quality. It's the best quality. It's the greatest quality. What am I saying?
It's
all
working, right. So it's amazing.
Now, we're talking about, we spoke about the Apex thing just before, Prof, so you missed a little bit of that. Now we're talking about complexity, having poison return, all that kind of stuff. But we're looking at the biggest blowout that they had, the Vitality complexity game on Overpass. What are you just saying that was fantastic from complexity, or are you putting more weight in that shit was blowing up in the Vitality camp?
I'd probably give it a bit more towards complexity, which caused Vitality to.
Okay.
You know how it goes. Like if you're losing, things go to shit. Like if you're winning every event, you're not gonna be like that tilted. Maybe you will still want to take a break, but if you win every event, you'll probably continue going. But yeah, it was a bad map for ZywOo, which it just ended up being like that. It's not like he played super bad. He just lost key duels, which is weird to see for ZywOo, but for a normal person, not that weird. Like it's not like he whiffed 5 kills or something. He maybe kind of whiffed 1 or 2, and that's it. That's the whole game. So yeah, when you have that, and you have like Apex, obviously something going on, and him not feeling well, and everything just feeling shit, then you lose like that, then it kind of makes sense.
Now, I guess we can continue looking at this this group. Obviously, we want to continue with the blast stuff, and we were starting to get in. I was starting to whet everybody's appetite with the honeymoon conversation. I think we'll have that once we get to the liquid topic. So let's just blast through what happened. Ha, ha, ha. Ah, Jesus. Let's just continue.